welcome! Today, we are here at San Ramon Elementary School for a special interview episode about changing needs, planning challenges, and focal point of planning decisions on curriculum models. Susubukan nating makapanayam ang ilan lamang sa mga mahuhusay na guro ng paaralang ito kung ano sa tingin nila ang mga kailangang baguhin sa pagpaplano sa mga hamon ng kurikulum at kung ano sa tingin nila ang mga pinakakailangang bigyang punto sa pagpaplano ng kurikulum na syempre siyang magiging basahan ng paaralan sa pagpapatupad nito. This interview will mainly focus on curriculum planning based from our present pandemic condition. Our interviewees will give their thoughts on the question that we are about to ask them, which is, ano nga ba ang kailangang baguhin sa pagpaplano sa mga hamon ng kurikulum at kung ano ang mga pinakakailangang bigyang punto sa pagpaplano nito? Before we start, let us unlock words of what does it mean when we say changing needs, planning challenges. Well, this means that as change continues to rationalize the education, schools must plan to face the challenges that it brings. In order for planning to be effective, the school plan must address the school's needs as articulated by the teachers, and school development planning works on developing an awareness of these needs, not only in terms of managing the school, but also in terms of the wider needs of the students as members of the society. Talking about focal point of planning decisions, it means it's the process concerned with making decisions about what to learn, why, and how to organize teaching and learning process, taking into account existing situation and the resources available. Let's now hear their thoughts on this very important phase of curriculum development, which is the planning.
Hi, I'm Benny Ricaplanca, a graduate of Master of Arts in Education, major in Early Childhood Education. Currently, I am a kindergarten teacher in San Ramon Elementary School. One of my colleagues asked me if I can talk about curriculum. Well, curriculum contains competencies that need to be achieved by a certain learner. It also has validated activities and programs for the learners to be taken to achieve the goal or the learning goal of education. But the decision making and implementation of the curriculum depends on the needs of our learners. That is why it is important for us teachers to look on the strengths and weaknesses of our learners. Learners are different from each other. Learners are undergoing different stages. Learners have different needs. Like for example, a 1-year-old child needs to satisfy his stomach. That's why activities for the 1-year-old child must be on how to teach them to eat properly, how to help them to eat, how to transition them from soft foods to solid foods. On the other hand, 2-year-old child is on the potty training. The curriculum is focused now on how to help the child in extracting those digested foods. Because if you will not help them with the basic needs, probably they will get more help when they grow older. For the 3-year-old toddler who is more curious and active physically, more activities, engaging activities will be given to them. That is why learners must be considered. Learners' needs must be considered before implementing the curriculum. Decision making in the curriculum is very much important depending on the needs of our learners. Thank you so much.
Changing needs planning challenges. In planning, we must analyze and evaluate all aspects of the program of school to make certain in providing the best program. But what about after you had planned everything? A sudden change or need arise. Great challenge to planners also arises then. Although there are plan A, B, C in planning, how about if it doesn't fit to the challenge that arise? Planners must go through again on planning stages. But what about if it really demands for an immediate action? The openness of mind and ears, together with the willingness to adapt change, are indispensable characteristics that planners must possess. In planning, they should critically and thoroughly look for the welfare of the curriculum and not deal this change as an experiment, cause everyone involved in this process and implementation can suffer. Focal point of planning decision on curriculum models. The most start on specifying the educational goals and objectives they plan to accomplish. They must identify on which of the 4 domains these goals need to target. After thorough consideration, the process of designing the curriculum takes place, followed by implementation and evaluation. Through evaluation, curriculum planners and developers can determine whether the objectives have been met or attained. If ever that there were flaws encountered, they must take feedbacks and go back on the process, change the strategies of instruction implementation, have some interventions and innovations, then evaluate again until you have reached the goal.
Good morning! So today, we're going to talk about the new normal education. So the new school year comes with the new modes of learning, a new normal in education, established as a precaution against the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. So as it stands, more than 16 million students will be affected or will be utilizing the various learning modalities this year, such as we have the online distance learning, we also have the modular distance learning, or what we call the radio-based instruction. So, in facing these different kinds of modalities, teachers and students or pupils are also facing different kinds of challenges. The first one is administrative. Why administrative? Because some modes of learning are conducted without teacher facilitator. That's why we have the asynchronous learning and the synchronous types of learning. The second one is social. So social, maybe students feel isolated since these modes of learning are conducted without interaction, without social interaction to their peers, to their classmates, or to their students. So they don't have time to talk with their classmates regarding the topic, but they will answer it alone because of this COVID-19 pandemic. And the third one is motivation. So motivation, for students are compelled to continue their education from their own homes. So speaking of their own homes, so there are distractions, a lot of distractions. The first one is the noise on their environment. Maybe the internet connection. And the others are still looking for the gadgets, the laptops that we will be using during their online learning. So these are the different set of disruptions that our pupils or our students are experiencing now. So me as teacher, I always try my best to communicate with my pupils. Flexibility is the key, wherein we need to give a constant communication to them. We need to communicate with them regarding their queries about the topic, since I am handling the MDL, the modular distance learning. We need to explain them. We need to communicate them constantly for them to be guided accordingly to their lesson. So, these are the challenges that I am facing right now. So, by the way, I'm teacher lady of San Ramon Elementary School. So, that's all. Have a nice day.
As you heard from their point of views, most of them answered that learners should be given importance along with teachers and society when developing curriculum, which is kinda true, as these three are the important focal points which inform any curriculum. Although change at this time can be difficult to handle, our task as curriculum planner is to prepare ourselves for these inevitable shifts, as effective curriculum planning and decision-making process is the key to the success of the educational program.